Right. I don't know. Are we there? Are we there? I don't have a guitar or anything, so let's have a little look. Andertons. Here we are. We are live. Let's have a little look.
Let me see if I can see if Andertons is live.
This is so weird.
Live
I've got a virtual Pete in one side. I've got us, but about 5 seconds behind here, and people coming in. Can you could you text Jack or something and ask him to post that we're going live? Oh man, there's like a zillion people watching already. Hello.
I can't text.
You can't text.
I'm using my phone for this.
Ah.
I'm using my phone for
Okay, well, right. Somebody text Jack. So hang on. Can you hear Pete's voice? Give me some. I might have to turn you up a bit, Pete. Hold on.
Can you hear my voice?
We'll put a bit more bass on it to make you sound a bit more realistic. Can you see Pete's face? I think you should go in. Oh man, alive! Right. Okay, everybody. We hear Pete. That's awesome. So
you can hear me.
You might have to. Could you go even slightly closer on your face? I just want to see. Just. Do you look? Let me see. There's definitely some fat Leonardo going on there.
Thanks,
right. Okay. Well, look. Pete and I are live. So I am all on my own in the studio. It's so weird, as I'm sure all of you guys will know. Literally, zero human interaction is freaking me out. So Pete and I were watching Mick and Dan do something similar, where Dan's face was in the laptop, but Mick was in the studio. Anyway, do you know what? I'm going to first and foremost say that any donations made, because the lovely Anomanda Rake has already donated some money. Any donations that happen during this live broadcast, I will donate to some sort of NHS Corona fund in the UK.
Good man.
So anything that, I wasn't even thinking about donations, but the first one just came through. So if you would like a shout out and you make a donation to get a shout out, that's where all the money will go.
That's a good idea.
So Mr. Pete, what are you up to today?
I am currently trying to set up a studio to work from home and with a laptop and stuff. So we're basically in the midst of moving house at the moment, which is really surreal amongst all of this stuff. But we have no choice. If we don't move, we've got no place to live.
Well, there, fair enough.
So, yeah. So it is essential travel, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, look. So questions then. Let's go out to YouTube land. As you guys probably know, all the videos going up on our channel at the moment are kind of ones that were recorded. They're almost like from the archive. And Pete and I are desperate to be able to sit. There's gear coming out all the time that Pete and I want to go and demo for you. So there must be 20 or 30 epic video ideas. I should also say as well, just for public record as well, Rob Chapman was supposed to be back with us literally the day the lockdown came out, and 3 or 4 days before that he jumped on a plane to Malta so that he could be with his family, and again even Rob got like one of the last flights that he possibly could. So it's a real bummer because we've not, although I speak to Rob probably every day and we've seen him here and there, we've not actually done videos with each other since January. So it's crazy. And I don't know when this whole lockdown, I'm guessing we're probably not going to, the whole restrictions thing's unlikely to get back to normal till May. So even then it might not. So who knows? Right, anyway, quick couple of shout outs, Pete, for people who have donated money. Luke McFarlane, you're a legend. And Kian Sharrock, you're a legend as well. Right, questions. Can you see these as well, Pete, or am I the only one with questions?
I can see them. I'm not sure how quickly they come in.
Right,
But
so
I can see last one.
Kian, who has made a donation of £5, thank you very much, wants to know, when are you going to have the Battle of the Les Pauls?
The battles of the Les Pauls will happen. Has happened.
It
It
has.
has happened. But unfortunately, there's a little bit of a bigger story around it. So which we just missed by a couple of days, and we couldn't finish the rest of that thing that we wanted to do with the whole happening around the video. But it will happen.
I've just turned you up a little bit here, Pete. I'm conscious I think I'm louder. Yes, I mean, look, Pete has acquired a spectacular Les Paul. You have a knack of acquiring spectacular guitars. Have you got it?
You keep talking.
And so Pete and I have done the battle of the Les Paul, but to be honest with you, Pete's Les Paul is great, and we don't really know exactly why, and we kind of want to find out why and have that sort of follow-up video ready to go. But we need to go to Gibson to find out why, and obviously with the lockdown we can't. So, anywho, should we? I mean, I'm not even going to tell you who wins that shootout, but you can probably guess. Cliff Da Vinci, thank you very much, and Pro Analog Devices. Is that you, Scotty? Are you watching? And what else? Let's do some other questions. Oh, actually, we had loads of donations, so I do apologise. Armando Miraglia, he has donated 50 SEK, whatever SEK is currency. Is that Swedish krona? Nice. Yeah. And Greasy Orange has done $10, Australian dollars, I guess. And Dylan from Brisbane wants to know if we have any thoughts on Tonewood. So whilst I'm reading the other questions, Pete, you talk about Tonewood.
Well, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course wood makes a difference. Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it? You get it?
Jeff Hirschberger. Hirschberger? That's a great name.
Hirschberger?
Yeah.
That's an awesome name.
He'd like to see more stuff from G&L. Well, good for you, Jeff, because we have a big shipment, like maybe 50 or 60 American guitars arriving any day now that we will can't wait to video. Joshua Jordan, that's a big donation, Joshua. You are very generous. I appreciate it. Luke McFarlane has either donated again to get another question, or it's his same donation from before, I'm not sure. He wants to sound like Tosca. That's never happening with us, is it?
Not you, me, no. But probably, but maybe Rebecca do. Maybe we know someone who could do, I don't know. Maybe.
WV838, another big donation. That's fantastic. If you've just tuned in, we're going to give all the money that's raised in this live broadcast to an NHS charity sort of coronary fund. Tarek Turkoglu, did I say that right? Anyway, I've caught up, so come on, questions. Let's find a question. Do you have to play that? You can donate £5 every time you play that lick.
Oh God.
Joseph Dean says, Danish Pete, you are my favourite YouTube guitar personality.
Oh, lovely, thank you very much. Who was that from? I didn't see I can't keep up with the questions. It's really quick.
Amber 57499 wants to know, can they get a job at Andertons when this whole coronavirus thing is over? And of course, I mean, we have as long as you can make it to Guildford every day, as we don't have any other offices anywhere else in the world, and you apply to, what's that jobs page? Is it andertons.co.uk/vacancies or /jobs? Or something?
Yeah, I think you just Google Andertons jobs or Andertons vacancies, and then it'll come up automatically. Not that I know anything about that stuff at all.
Jeff has very kindly donated the $5 because you just played the lick.
I'll do it again just for you, Jeff.
Joe Hervey 84. Unless we see a picture, I don't believe you.
There it is, jobs.andertons.co.uk. Thank you, Andertons, whoever that is on the other side there.
Oh, that is Andertons. Oh, so Clash of the Shitans blindfold. Did you like that Clash of the Shitans video? Let's discuss that for a bit, Pete. Oh my gosh, Rufus has put a massive donation in, and Luke has put another donation in. Come on. Wow.
And what is this, £30? If I have a flanger-shaped hole on my pedal board, recommendations for flanger.
Can you say that again in English, please?
Yeah, no, I'm completely. It's from Rufus. I got so excited about flangers. I would check out the Thorpe camouflage. That's amazing.
Okay, let's talk about modulation pedals for a minute. Hands up, or in the comments section, who kind of just finds the whole modulation thing, like, there's a tendency I find, if I put a chorus pedal on my board, I overuse it, and then I just go off the sound, and then I just don't want to use it anymore. So I currently, I'm not a big fan of modulation pedals. And by the way, Woodizo's Guitar Mods in Canada, thank you very much. I always enjoy reading the comments that you put on all the videos we do. You're a legend, and thank you for that donation as well. It's very kind, and stay safe yourself. But anyway, yes, Pete, sorry. Modulation pedals, what are your views?
No, I use them if I need, if I'm doing a gig or something where it's needed, I'll do them. And once in a while I get, like, camouflage is amazing, the Julia chorus is amazing, and you just get them, and then you're into it for a little bit, you know what I mean? And then it's kind of, it wears off a little bit, maybe. I don't know.
If you could only have one modulation pedal, so you could have chorus, flanger, phaser, or something like a Univibe, which one?
Oh, that's a difficult one, isn't it? Chorus probably, but then a vibe pedal can do all of them. I don't know. I mean, chorus.
Yeah, I'm going Univibe. But anyway, Josh Romain, Tyrone Big Guns, thank you. Armando, thank you again. Strandberg, are we getting Strandberg in, Pete? I think not. There were noises from the NAMM show that we were going to do the Abasi thing.
Yes.
Which we very much like to, but I think Tozin and his team are still structuring what that business looks like. But yeah, that would be cool if we did. But no Strandberg. And when is John Mayer coming in? Well, John, honestly, literally, yet again, in the cursed world of Andertons, he was due in, but Corona lockdown happened, and so he blew us out again. But pretty soon he's going to run out of excuses, and he's absolutely going to have to do it. Is this camera angle wonky? Let me just see if I can.
Me or you?
Let me see if I can just de-wonky the camera. Which side needs to come up?
I wouldn't worry about it. It's all going to fall down then. But
it might do.
Somebody here.
Oh, it's even worse. Hold on, it's got worse. I can't.
Pay £2 to hear the captain's leg again. So here we go. You get another key this time. Get a C. So that's a bit too much. But here you go.
Here's an interesting one from Renan, who wants to know, what are the best pickups for a fat Strat sound? And might that be timely, that question, Mr. Pete?
Well, fat 50s, maybe?
I was more thinking about the pickups that you might be working on with...
Oh, yes, no, I mean, it's sort of cut out a minute there. Yes, no, that's definitely a thing that could be a, yes. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, why not? I mean, so you guys all know that Pete did a set of pickups for his Telecaster, the DP51 set from Monty's, which is a hand-wound, British-made, sort of like a custom shop pickup. Well, for about 2 months now, there's been a bit of toing and froing of pickups and stuff to get a Strat set that Pete likes from Monty's, which
could be it's on the way to me as we speak. What do you say? It's in the way. It's on the way in the post. hopefully. So hopefully this week we will know more, and that's definitely worth taking out because it's a mixture between 61s and 65s, but with a little bit of a telly twang on the bridge. They're working on putting, like, you know, where the Telecaster pickup has got this little metal plate on the back. So we've been trying to work with that a little bit, see if we can get that kind of twang for my Telecaster, but in a Strat on the back pickup.
Lots of people asking, where do we ship products to in the world? I think the simplest thing to do, if you see something on our website that you like and you get to the checkout and your country appears in the list of delivery options, then yes, we ship there. Greasy Orange wants to know, what's your favourite crash cymbal size? I would say small, that big, one that makes very little noise.
16.
You like a 16-inch crash, do you? Good answer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Mark, for your donation. That's very kind of you. Thank you, Jeff. Captain meets Kenny Wayne Shepherd, 100%.
Oh,
that nearly happened last year. Just touring schedules didn't work, but 100% next time he's in the UK, it should be on.
Yes.
How long did it, I think this must be a Swedish thing. How long did it take to get the smell of the surströmming out of the video room?
Over a week.
Was it?
Yeah.
It was pretty smelly.
It was. We had the windows open every day for a week, and well, it was over the weekend, so we didn't come in. And we had Christmas, didn't we? I think I can't remember, but it took a week. It was terrible, awful.
Right. Let's have a little look. Are there any music universities close to Guildford? I don't know why I picked that question out, but there are two. There is Surrey University, which is a huge campus. You know, I think 20 or 30,000 students on that campus, and that's in Guildford, and that does have all sorts of degree courses, including music. And then, of course, there is the Academy of Contemporary Music, or the ACM as it's better known, and their main campus is in Guildford as well. So there's about, I don't know, there's over 1,000 music students there. So yes, come and study music. You can do any kind of music, from heavy duty stuff like the Tom Meister course at Surrey University, through to just come and get better at the guitar at ACM. Rufus.
Yeah, and come and hang with us in Guildford.
Rufus has he's just ordered a camouflage literally off of your advice.
That is a good pedal.
James Golding, shout out. I would love to. Doug. Compare neck profiles. Which do you like the best? Let's talk about that for a bit then, Pete. Do you go for girth or do you go for slimness? What is it about a neck on a guitar that you go, yes, I like it?
But for me, it needs to fit in this bit here. So, which means I like to feel the neck on the back of my here. At the back of the finger here. Does that make sense? What is this called here, Lee? That bit.
That's a good question. What is that? That little bit of sort of like loose skin between your thumb and your first finger. What is that called?
Well, if you look at this bit here, right? If you look at that bit, so when the guitar fits nicely in there, that when I'm doing an E chord, for instance, it literally I don't know if you can see this, but it locks itself around, and I kind of feel the back of the neck in my hand. Because if it gets too slim, it feels like it's flapping about a bit, but somewhere between slim and not slim and fat.
I kind of feel here, I think I could get you a bit closer. Let's see if we can go a bit closer to the camera. If I sort of, without cutting the top of my head off, is that sort of...
You're too close to me, man.
People can see what they're doing better now. Do you think there's anything in the whole tone of a fatter neck?
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think so. I mean, I've got an acoustic. I've got a Martin OM28V, which has got a massive, huge, fat, chunky V-neck, and I think that compared to the newer OMs, which has got like a slim, not a slim profile, but it's like a newer, little bit slimmer profile. The whole V thing, this big, fat, chunky neck, absolutely gives more tone compared to guitars, and it just has more tone. So yes, I do think it makes a difference. The more wood, the more sustained the guitar can do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know. So that's me. So that's what I believe.
Yeah. I mean, there's a comment here from Julio saying fat neck equals harder to play but more resonance. See, I don't agree that they're harder to play. I just think it's just a different feel, isn't it? I think if you want to play lots of legato and thumb on the back of the neck, almost classical style, then I get it. I get why all of those kind of Ibanez Wizard necks are so popular with that kind of player. But I think if you play traditional, sort of bad habit thumb round the neck guitar, I don't think thick necks are more uncomfortable or harder to play than thin necks.
I don't agree. I think that's a bit that if you want to play fast, people can play fast on a fat neck, but that's about having the strings low enough and having a flat profile. But then even then, people play fast on 7 1/4 inch radius. What's Yngwie Malmsteen? What are you laughing at?
Only because there's a bizarre request from Daniel Duran. Obviously, I choose Pete because he looks like Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah. Matt Miller has asked several times if you've still got your black Strat.
No, that's been sold.
Gone.
It's gone to America.
America.
Yeah, to a good home.
That was weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was that's probably a month ago now, I reckon.
So what are you gonna spend the money on? What are you gonna replace it with?
What money? Well, there was maybe this has got something to do with it, and a little bit.
Anything else? What? No.
Anything else?
Weren't we talking about what was it that you? Wasn't it one of those 61s or something, or wasn't there something that you? I mean, not that you
yes.
can.
I think yeah. I know we talked about one of those 61s with the hardware on it, and then that got sold, didn't it?
Oh really? Yes.
And then there was that Telecaster, the double bound Telecaster, which also got sold.
But I think Telecasters wise though, you're the purple Telly and the Hanson T-type. You're pretty well covered for that. But you're now with no black Strat. You're down to you got that old blue one, haven't you? The old American.
I've got the old blue one, and I've got a Japanese Strat, just the cheap version, but yeah, I would love to have a proper custom shop Strat, rosewood board, maybe roasted maple neck, maybe in some kind of a pop kind of color. Boom. We talked about the color. Like maybe you saw our April Fools last year, where I painted my purple guitar graffiti yellow. That color has been hunting me ever since, I must admit.
Yeah. Okay, all-time favorite amp and why from Greasy Orange.
All-time favorite amp and why? Oh my god, I mean there's so many good amps. I think the amp I've used most through my whole career has been a Fender Hot Rod, either a Blues DeVille or a Blues, what was the other one called? Blues Deluxe, Blues DeVille or Hot Rod. Those are the amps I've played most.
It's mad, isn't it? It's mad. But I guess I'm not sure. I would, I know why. Yeah, I know why you say that because it's great with pedals and they're affordable and they're everywhere and they're easy to get from higher companies. But best all-time amp, it's not that amp. It's something.
It's not that amp. I mean, I had a twin. The twin. Do you remember the Fender, twin with the red? I loved that amp. My God, I loved it, and somebody stole it.
Really?
That was just one of the best amps I ever had. I think for me.
You just look for the thief with the bad back. He'll be the one that stole it.
Yeah. My God, it was heavy, but that was a good amp. JCM 800. Maybe not the guy to say that, but
surprised.
Vox AC30. I had one for a long time. They're all different. Just get a Kemperly.
Fair enough.
And you got them all.
I have liked some of those. I still remember back to when we did that blowout on was it the Vibra King?
Yes, see, yeah.
I still remember that one as being like, oh my word, that was good.
It is.
What other things? Anyway,
Now,
it's so difficult.
now
You know,
me,
you say this a lot. It's like as a you say like if you're a carpenter, you've only got one saw in the bag or whatever, one hammer.
Yeah,
It really is. You know, different styles of guitar, different pedals, different moods, different things at different volumes. You know, you can't have one amp that just you go, yeah, that's the only thing I'm ever going. You know, it's going to be the best all the time. In fairness, something like the Kemper probably is the solution if that's what you need.
I mean, I would love to use the DP40, which is this you know, V40 modded, but that amp does everything that I need to do right now.
Yeah.
You know, I've got a 1x12 cabinet with a gold Celestian gold in it, and it just sounds fantastic. I mean, it does everything I need it to do. It records well, and you know, so that for me, I can do anything with that. You know, but if I need something else, I'll go and get a Marshall head or you know, whatever. PV 5150 if you need all that stuff. You know.
When would you need a PV 5150? What project have you got on the go that you need a 5150 for?
But if I'm doing some session work, you know.
When are you even going to get a call from us? You know, oh hi Pete, yeah, can you do sessions? We're just laying down a new, you know, sort of hardcore metal track. I thought you could play rhythm guitar on it. It's like. What's the heaviest guitar track you've ever had to do in a professional capacity?
The heaviest one?
Yeah.
You're gonna laugh, but I think we did something with Westlife that was really well. I played a Flying V and I had a Mesa Boogie Roadster, you know, on the 4th channel and just hammered it. But it was.
And what Westlife at some point during their tours would do a cover of what sort of Ace of Spades or something with them. I mean, what is there?
It was. I mean, it was some kind of rock song, you know. So I've done some stuff before where I need that, and I've done some recordings on various talentless shows.
Yes.
Where they've needed to just done proper rock guitar. Then I just do some profile on a Kempo. I actually used the UND plugs from a pop and when I recorded what was it? What did I record for X Factor? I did the Queen song. You remember I played that for you?
I thought it sounded great. Wasn't that just an amp? That was just an amp in Logic, wasn't it?
No, that was the Apollo.
Right.
Can't remember what it was. So, but there you go.
I'm going to do a few more shout outs because the donations are coming in. So Simon Doyle, thank you very much. Pete, will we do a road trip? You know what? Pete and myself and Rob and Rabir have talked a lot about just trying to do something live. So maybe favourite guitar for under £200 from Rascal King. Thanks for your donation too. I mean, I'm going Squire Bullets and that purple Squire Bullet Telly or any of those Bullet Tellys or Affinity Strats. You know, they are just phenomenal. And in fact, again, going back to that thing, say that again, mate.
How much are the new Epiphones? They're more than
they're a lot more. Yeah, Epiphone are really smashing it round about the sort of, you know, £300, £400, £500 mark, but really low end. The Squire stuff is crazy.
Absolutely.
Mr. Webster or Mrs. Webster, I don't know. I'm going ER Webster. Have you tried the Nick Johnson Strat? Any plans to review one? I'm sure we have reviewed them. I'm sure we've reviewed them with Nick. It's a great guitar, but it is a bit you've got to fundamentally want like just someone else's take on a Strat rather than a completely different, you know, it's like when I suppose lots of brands, Suhr, Schecter, you know, they take the Strat idea and then they put their twist on it, and it doesn't necessarily make it Silver Sky doesn't necessarily make it better or worse. It just might appeal to someone, and the Schecter, Nick's Schecter one is cool. I mean, the one thing that's cool about the Schecter one is they do a Far Eastern version of it, which is a great cool alternative to a Strat if you want something with a twist. Ah, Daniel, you can keep donating as much as you want, but you are not going to get answers to those questions. At least not without a massively bigger donation than that. Game Guider 2121. Lee, why haven't you been wearing your Explorer? Oh, this is a watch question, and that's because my watch went in for a service about 6 weeks ago, and anybody that has a Rolex watch will know that the service takes a few weeks to get done. And then literally it came back into the shop the day before the UK introduced all the lockdowns. And so that's where it is. It is sitting in a shop in Guildford waiting to be opened. And the one I've got on is one that someone gave me, and it's really cool. It's everyone not interested in watches just hangs up now. But this is another automatic watch, which I'm always fascinated by watches that, you know, don't run on batteries. And it's made by a company called Marathon, and it's something to do with the US military. Apparently it's a watch that they give to servicemen, from what I understand. And somebody gave it to me, and it's my backup kind of watch. Because that was the other thing. I have another nice watch by Tag, which is a quartz watch rather than a automatic. And that, whilst the Rolex was in the service shop, that stopped working. The battery ran out. First world problems of a man with two nice watches. I apologise. Onwards and upwards. Let's find another donation.
Sorry, I dozed off there.
I'm sure it. KO Owen, apologies if I got your first name wrong. Best overdrive into an AC30 top boost. Go.
Oh, God. Tube screen? I don't know, man. That's
Tube screen?
I would just crank that thing. Maybe a boost and just crank it up, crank the amp up.
See, I must admit, I want to go and I'm going to play this guitar to you once we're doing videos again. But I went and got my Strat that I put the Eric Clapton boost thing in it the other day. Restrung it, was playing it, and I played it into a Vox, and I wound the boost thing circuit up in the guitar. And it didn't sound great. And I was thinking, oh, maybe I don't like this, you know, maybe this is just not my thing anymore, blah, 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 blah. And then I plugged it into a more of a Fender-y style amplifier and wound the mid-range up. Or even into a Marshall. We were playing with some Marshall-y stuff and wound the mid-range up. And it sounded amazing. And it made me think, it's a funny one, isn't it, the AC30? It really does, you know, what's the right word? It's more temperamental, I think, than, you know, there are so many overdrive pedals that you can plug into Fender amps and Marshall type amps that just sound great. Whereas I don't know with an AC30, I do think you've got to experiment and find the right one for you. I think
hotcakes.
They do what, sorry?
Some people like writing hotcake, I can agree on that. But I would say sort of a treble booster style thing, that's what it needs, I think. Yeah,
I just think you can overload an AC30. Was phoning me. And clearly not watching us on YouTube, so I don't know if the video cut out. We back?
Yeah, it did.
We're back. He'll probably just keep. Could somebody text Rob Chapman and tell him that we're live at the moment and not to keep calling? Amanda Rake, are bass players just frustrated guitarists? I think it's the other way around. I think bass players are the really talented one, and guitar players are the ones that just want the glory and the limelight. Dan Daly, thank you for your donation. Jeff, duties to America. Do you know what? I'm really not the expert when it comes to buying stuff and what duties you have to pay. But what I do know, if you live in America or anywhere outside the EU and you buy from Andertons, the VAT comes off the price. So the price that you see on our website goes down by about 20%. And then, of course, when it arrives at your end, you'll probably have to pay some sort of local import tax. If I'm going to literally just guess here. In America, I think with everything with import tax and your local sales tax, it's something like 10 to 15% that you have to pay. I've got a feeling if it's below a certain amount, you don't pay anything. But hey, don't take my word for it.
Just really quick, somebody said, is there a Lupo masterclass coming from me? And I said, yes, I would love to do that at some point.
How is Satchel behind the cameras? He is literally Satchel. We tried to have a conversation with him as Russ, and he just wouldn't do it. He arrived in character, dressed up, everything. He left in character. He had that mischievous look in his eye the entire time.
Yes.
So I don't even know who he is other than Satchel. Pete, do you want to answer this one? Where in your signal chain would you put an EP boost or an Echoplex style preamp?
That's very much like that pedal show question, isn't it? But I like boost in front of my drives. That's how I do in front of my overdrive pedals.
Me
to
too.
Boost. So and then before any modulation.
I'm 100%. I've never put a pedal that affects the volume level so much, or the boost or the drive, really into the effects loop of an amplifier. I know.
Yeah.
I did experiment a few years ago with the idea of like an EQ pedal through the effects loop, just to maybe give you some sort of boost into the power section. But really, and to be honest with you, it's Pete's bad influence. I kind of haven't bothered using an effects loop in an amplifier for about a year now. I just can't be bothered. Just whack everything in the front end. As long as your drive pedals come before your ambient pedals, you'll probably be okay. And then just get on with it. Just saying.
I like that noise it kind of makes. I do. I like the noise it makes. What was that here? Somebody said, what I want to swap out the neck pickup in my Telecaster. What would you recommend, Ted? Thanks, Seth. I would, of course, recommend a DP51 from Monty's.
It depends what you want it to be. I mean, if you want, you know, if you look
if I have to recommend anything, I would recommend that.
Yeah, I mean,
Great,
classic Telecaster sounding pickups. If you want it to sound like a 50s Telecaster, then that's the way to go, like a proper Fender one or whatever. But you might want it to be a bit hotter than that. You know, you might want to look at some of the Seymour Duncan kind of pickups that they do. It's a difficult one, isn't it? On the subject of changing pickups, it is a leap of faith. You know, fundamentally, you can't go to a shop and ask someone to put a pickup in your guitar just so you can try it. If you try another guitar that has an identical pickup in it, it may still sound different to your guitar by the time you put it in, because, you know, all the other variables that are in a guitar. So, yeah, I mean, I must admit, I tend to find that you either get a guitar player that loves to tinker and just reads on the internet and goes, oh, I like the sound of that, and they put in, and they almost by accident just end up with a set that they really like. Or with me, where I tend to not change stuff because I'm always worried that it won't sound as good as the one that I've replaced, and I'd rather just leave a guitar as it was if I liked it.
I agree. Yeah.
But I do get it. I mean, I think lots of people who buy those things like the Squier Affinities and the more affordable guitars, I guess if your hobby is just tinkering and you love the idea of, oh, I wonder what it sounds like if I put a different impedance volume pot in it, or if I change the tuners to this, or I do this, you know, change the pickup to this, that, and the other. It's a relatively affordable way of having fun and seeing what happens, but there's no guarantee anything's going to be better than what it was before.
No. And then if it's not better, you might have wasted yourself 200 quid all the time.
Yeah.
And then to change them back.
I can't believe how many people are asking questions, and I massively apologise to all the ones that I'm not reading out here. When will the Revere standard Chapman be available? There's so many people asking that at the moment through to our customer services team, and I think touch wood, find something wooden. Everybody find something wooden and touch it. We're slightly in the hands of whether or not the factory in Indonesia can carry on uninterrupted, or whether or not the whole Corona thing causes delays. But on the assumption there are no delays, they should be here by July, maybe August at the latest. And they look awesome. Pete, do you ever play around with alternative tunings? And Greasy Orange, I hope it's your credit card that you keep donating with, because you've spent a fortune so far already.
Not unless I have to. I like doing it, but you have to get in the mind space for it. You know what I mean? You have to set yourself into. Yeah, that's actually one of the reasons why I did like those robo tuners.
What?
When they were on an acoustic guitar, right? I thought it was really cool to go and click and go, I want an open A, or I want a G, or I want this, and because you didn't have to go and find out what strings were tuned to this and what was the thing. You just clicked the thing, you went meh, and then it tuned it up to your chord, and then you could kind of try to experiment around with it. I think what I don't really have the patience to do is sit down and find out how do I tune to an open this and what does it need to be, and then I have to go on Google and I find out what that needs to be tuned. And I have to get a tuner and then I put it on the guitar, and I could have written a song in that time.
My feeling on those Gibson Robo tuners was, don't pick your nose live on YouTube. You can never take that back. My opinion of those is it feels to me like the natural way for the electric guitar evolution to go. It's a little bit like when you look at a tuner, like a pedal tuner over the last, years and years ago, it would have been a needle and it was and you had to manually select the string and you had to, and now it's just like on a polytune, you just strum all 6 strings and it just goes, they're the ones you need to change.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels to me a bit like all that needs to happen is the solution needs to feel a bit more elegant and a bit less clunky. And I think it'll go that way, like automatic gearboxes in cars. Or even self-driving cars, it's just going to be the future. Maybe that's what the ultimate future is guitars will just be self-playing guitars. You just put one on and just go, hey, Guitar Siri version, play Sweet Child of Mine. And it just does. And you just look awesome and you haven't practiced or anything. Maybe this will be a prophetic kind of podcast, and in 30 years' time, people will go, look, he got it right. Des O'Connor, you're very kind, but yes, we're all aging. Not much we can do about that.
Hang on, somebody said, what's the only lick if you're going to play one lick for the rest of your life? What would it be?
You know what though? I'm just proud that I've even got a lick. I'm
exactly.
It's like
it's a big thing, man. It's a big deal.
Timothy Pearson, let's talk a little bit about buying second-hand for a minute or two, because I've not bought much. I bought pedals second-hand, and I've bought like a couple of really old guitars, but I wouldn't have said I'm the kind of guy that just jumps on eBay and just looks for used stuff. But what about you? What are the potential sort of pros and cons of doing that?
It depends on what you're looking for. I was looking for an old Hohner, which was my first guitar, which ended up being like 110 quid or whatever, and that sort of thing I don't mind. When it's Hohner ST Professional. I don't know if I did spend like 2,600 on a Les Paul online, and I did buy a Flying V online once, and I did buy an SG 78 once online. I don't have any of them anymore, so I probably didn't connect with them as I would have if the guitar had found me. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? And that's when you find stuff like this, and you just go, yeah, I have to just have that, then you have to just, then it's a different thing. But no, there's nothing wrong with buying second hand,
I think it's
I don't think.
You know what though, I just think, for me the problem is that where I think the pitfalls are, if you're a relatively novice guitar player and you're shopping second hand because of the value, and I get it, it's like, a second-hand version of something will be less money than a new version of it. You really run the risk that what you get is something that needs work doing to it that isn't covered under any kind of a warranty. My Martin, that D35 I bought, I bought that from a reputable dealer, had it shipped over, never really connected with it, and never, was always disappointed until somebody from Martin said, wow, that some of the struts internally have come loose on that. It needs quite a lot of work doing to it to restore it to how it should be. Of course, once I had all that done to it, it was amazing. And I did connect. But again, I just sort of go, anything amp-wise, I think you should be careful buying secondhand because, they can be expensive to repair. Pedals, knock yourself out. They're so reliable. There's so little that can go wrong with those. There are so many used, you can buy and trade second-hand pedals all day long. Anyway, hopefully Tim Peterson, nearly said Tim Pearson, he's probably not watching.
Right, it's all right. It's all right to buy second-hand guitars if that's fine. But if you want to connect and find that one guitar that finds you, then you have to go and try it. But knock yourself out. There's a good deal to be had out there.
What's your favourite Univibe?
Favorite Univibe?
Yes.
A Univibe.
Oh, the Univibe is your favourite Univibe. I liked the Univibe setting on the Keeley Dark Side. The one that I think sounded great. Somebody said there's a full tone Univibe which is supposed to be awesome, but it's got, and this is where you guys with the Univibe knowledge will know this, but the original authentic Univibes have some part in it that wears out, and I think the idea on this full tone one is you're supposed to drive this part. I'm guessing it's some sort of optical bulb, and you're supposed to drive it quite hard to get like the best Univibe sound out of it. But then I think the idea is the expectation is that you'll have to replace that part periodically. Anyway, Nick Mara, your original question was deleted, so I don't know what it was. Lassie Pleb. Is DKK, is that a Danish currency? If he's done 50 DKKs, is Lassie?
Yes, that's Danish.
Do you want to say something in Danish to him?
Was he the one that bought the 50s?
Yes.
Custom shop?
Yes.
Yeah. Fed guitar, man.
I've never had a Laguna Blue Strat, so
No,
I'm not sure what you're talking about. Pete's got a blue Strat. I've got a blue by Thomas Gray, like a blue guitar by Thomas Gray, but I don't think I've got a blue Strat. So I don't know what you're talking about on that one, I'm afraid. Sorry.
When is Pete getting a silver Nebula? Pete's not getting a Nebula.
I've bought 2 amps and 2 guitars. Is there a tube amp I can use at home, but also bring live without annoying my neighbours? The ultimate question. Is there a tube amp that sounds really great at low volume and good at high volumes as well? And I think I'm just going to go, no. I don't think there is. I think
what you can do, sorry.
It's like going, is there a car that's really great in like rough terrain, but will also win races round a speed track? And it's like, no. They're just, so if you want an amp to use at home, I'm not even sure that a tube amp is the right thing to do. If you for me, I don't have a tube amp to use at home. I use like a little Yamaha THR or those Boss Waza Air headphones.
Yeah.
I find
No, you can. If you get an attenuator, if you get a, the Waza tube expander or the aux box or something, there are things out there that can sort of take the volume down, and it sounds okay.
But even then, so if you take a valve amplifier. A combo, let's say a combo with a 12-inch 50-watt speaker in it, and you run that with an attenuator so that all that's coming out of that 12-inch 50-watt speaker is like 1/10 of a watt. It's not enough to get the speaker to do anything, so it's still a bad solution for me. So I would go completely. If you just want to play late at night, really quiet in your house without annoying anyone, I would look at a dedicated solution for that. Might even be that you could run some software on your laptop into a pair of laptop speakers and get a good sound. But personally, the Boss Waza headphones are my current favourite thing. Small tube amplifier that is like not loud enough to annoy the neighbours, but probably still too loud to not annoy someone in the next room. Could be something like a Fender Blues Junior or little Blackstar HT5 is great.
V40.
Yeah, even that's too big.
Well, on low setting, all right.
Yeah,
setting.
But that's my. Yeah, I don't personally believe that there is like this one size fits all solution to a guitar amp. How far away are the Larry Carlton sires? Again, probably same answer as I had for those Rabir Chapman guitars. It's all a bit like, on the basis that there's no delays because of the whole Corona thing, the summer, I think. What else is happening here? Well, oh my goodness me, Sunny Soul, who has donated 50 NOKs. Any idea? Norwegian krona.
Norwegian kronas.
Got a lot of love from Scandinavia today. So, oh, and by the way, just in case you tuned in, all the donations coming in, I'm donating to an NHS charity in the UK. So will Chapman guitars ever come with a normal way headstock? And I would just say never. Have you ever tried a Seymour Duncan P-Rails? Is P-Rails not like a P-bass pickup? I don't even know what a P-Rail is. So that would be a no. Captain Meets / David Gilmour or Sophie Lloyd. Well, there are 3 epic guitar names in one sentence. So I would love to meet Dave Gilmour, because I think seeing that live, the live video of Delicate Sound of Thunder was a real moment for me as a young guitar player, going, oh my goodness. Yeah, I'd love to meet Dave Gilmour. That would be cool. I'd like to meet all of them. I just love meeting guitar players. Come on, where's some questions for Pete? Let's have questions for Pete. I'm just going to fly through these. Will there be a Captain Meets / those kinds of artists are incredibly difficult to tie down to those kinds of things, so you never know, but can we have a Captain Meets Jack from the keyboard channel?
Yes.
I can't.
Yes, absolutely.
I worry about what sort of where that would go, but okay. And thank you, Greg, for your donation. Come on, that's it. I've got to the end. There are questions now for Pete. Let's find you one. What's the biggest audience you've ever played to?
Are we talking live or TV? I think TV was like some German Christmas show, and it probably, well, they said it was about 17 million people, which is quite insane when you think about it. And then live, probably 150, between 150 and 200,000. And we played this beach show in Mexico with Tom Jones once, clang, punk, whatever. And there was an open show, and it was like on a beach, and I mean, they said there was 150,000 plus people there, but nobody knew how many there was. So
well, there we are. Well, I'm just trying to find who answered that who asked that question, but whoever you were, what's the most you've ever played in front of? Can you top 17 million? What else do we have?
This live stream right now, isn't it?
There was some good. A bit of public information here. Do you think Summer NAMM will be cancelled? Well, I can tell you it already has been. I think that went out yesterday. So yeah, no Summer NAMM this year. Boo! Everybody pray that Winter NAMM isn't cancelled, because I do not want to not be in Los Angeles next January. Art Menezes. Are we going to do a Captain Meets that? Yes, I have met Art once or twice, and we speak a little bit on the Tinterweb, and he's coming. Well, no, he probably isn't now because of the whole blooming Corona thing, but he was due in July, August. So I don't know if his tour's been cancelled, but if his tour in Europe hasn't been, then yes, we will absolutely Captain Meets him. And if you're not familiar with Art's music, go check it out. He's an amazing blues guitar player. Pete, where did I Like to Do That come from? Can we even say? I think that just
came from Ariel. No, it came from Ariel. You can ask Ariel Poulsen about that. And the only name I can mention is Chuck Berry.
Oh man, you've given it away now. There's going to be too many Google searches for that. If you do find out what it is, we don't condone it, and we absolutely would not recommend you trying it at home. But hey,
search for that. You'll find it if you just search for that. If you just search that phrase, I like to do that, you'll find it.
You'll just find probably 200 references to one of our YouTube videos.
Yeah. There you go, Will has already said it.
Nick has donated 400 rubles, I guess. I'm curious how English people meet Russians. This sounds like some sort of weird dating agency thing here. I'm Russian and want to move to England. Well, you know, I don't know. I've no idea. I guess you have to get a visa and come and see if you like it here, and then see if anybody, I don't know. Pass, I'm afraid. Pete, can you convince Lee and the Andertons to play a Roskilde gig?
Roskilde gig.
What's Roskilde?
The Roskilde Festival.
Is that
Roskilde Festival is it's like Glastonbury basically, but in Denmark. Huge festival. But I don't think that's happening either this year. I think that's all cancelled.
Right, Dad of 3, good question here. I'm getting into the pedal game. Is it better to buy a bunch of different pedals or just buy something like the Line 6 Pod Go or any multi-effects thing? I think any experienced guitar player will tell you to buy individual guitar pedals, but it's only because we've all been through the journey and everybody buys multi-effects at some point or other because the value for money is just insane. You know, you can buy like, I think Andertons have a couple of special offers on at the moment for things like a Boss ME80 or a Line 6 Firehawk. You can spend like 200 quid, which is £200 by the way, and get something with 100 effects in it.
Yep.
That are all okay.
Yep.
But eventually you'll just find like the 3 or 4 or 5 that you like and just go and buy an individual pedal of those because it does sound better.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you just start getting that bug. And then you're just going to start buying pedals and, you know, want another overdrive, and then another one, and before you know it, you got hundreds of them. Yeah.
So do you know what, Dad of 3, thank you for your donation, by the way. All donations are going to charity. Yes, I probably would just go and buy a multi-effects pedal. There aren't really any bad ones. I mean, Zoom is good, Line 6 is good, Boss is good. What else is affordable? Mua is good. So get one. Maybe the really cheap ones are a bit rubbish, so maybe avoid like the $50 ones. But get something between £100 and £200. Play with it. Accept that all the presets will be garbage. Find the pedals that you like. Tweak them around a bit, and then a year down the line, sell that and go and buy some individual pedals. Keith Blair, thank you very much. I'd love to go to Louisiana one day. Have you ever toured and gigged in Louisiana?
No, not much. I'm in America down in... No, I haven't been doing much. I did some on the coasts, and then a little bit in Texas. That's it.
Awesome.
But no. Yeah. Canada did the whole thing.
Yeah, it doesn't count. That's like the opposite end of the world. Jeremy and Keith, thanks for your donations. You're very kind. What else? Man, how desperate is everybody to just get back to normal? There's a little bit of me just going, it's kind of fun to jump on YouTube and watch two blokes talk rubbish for like an hour or see a cool guitar player showing you some licks, but I just want to be back in the room doing stuff with all my friends. What is that? Why are you pointing a plectrum at the screen?
Somebody said, what's your favourite pick? It's just a Tortex Dunlop.
Somebody has said, what room is this? This is, so we have a house that we converted into...
Poor connection.
Oh, we lost.
I'm back now.
Okay, so we have a house that is separate to the store that we converted into a video studio about 5 years ago, and it's got two big rooms. One is the one that I'm in, which we normally do drums and keyboards in, and the guitar one is the other room. So this is the room I'm in, and it's weird because it's like lonely here. Normally it's like there are people here to speak to. Now there's nobody here. What else? How long have we been doing this for? Pete, we're up to 1.7 thousand people.
That's crazy. And we've been doing it for an hour now. That's crazy as well.
Yeah. Jaguar or Mustang from Ashley Baker. Thank you for your donation, Ashley. I would choose Jaguar.
Yeah.
For no reason. In fact,
No,
if you
I'm
liked the Jazzmaster video that we did about a month ago, our intention is to do the same thing with a Jaguar as soon as this whole thing is finito, and I guess we should do the same thing with a Mustang as well, shouldn't we?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. We should.
What do you prefer, Ashley? Do you prefer the Jaguar or the Mustang?
The Jaguar Mustang. Hang on, just gonna get another guitar out.
I don't understand. Justin Bailey, what are you saying? My 2019 Heritage Cherry Les Paul Standard you loved and played on the live stream a year ago, Pete, is my #1 guitar now. I need a backup from you now. Do you know Justin Bailey then? Did you sell him something?
No, I've never had a Heritage.
I'm confused.
Yeah, I'm confused. I'm always confused though.
Right. Oh, goodness me, there's so many questions coming in. What else are we having here? What else? What are you playing now, Pete? Old Faithful. Tell us, you said about guitars finding you rather than you finding guitars. Do you believe in all that sort of mumbo jumbo claptrap? Or
I do believe that everything happens for a reason in life. I mean, otherwise I wouldn't be here right now. So, and I do believe that. Well, when after this happened, yes, absolutely, because I just bought guitars because I just needed a Strat, I just needed a Telly, and I just needed something, and you know, it was no really. Oh my God! So yes, I do believe in that, and I do believe things happen for a reason. You know.
Do you believe you can fly?
I believe I can fly.
Do you believe you can touch the sky?
I think about it every night and day, and then I scrape my wings and I just fly away.
Totally wrong. Jason Lehman, I like this question, and we get asked it a lot. So if you had £1,000 budget, would you buy 3 or 4 affordable guitars, or one really, £1,000 guitar?
That's a good question. Or would I buy something second hand?
It's really, the question is, do you end up with one thing for £1,000 or 4 things for £250 each?
I'll probably go for the one thing. I can only play one at a time anyway.
I think again it's a little bit like that question we had about multi-effects. There's a journey you need to go on. You need to play and own as many guitars as you can. You need to own a Strat and a Telly and a Les Paul and an SG and a 335 and da-da-da-da. Experience them all and do that. That's cool to do that with affordable ones. But eventually, you are going to go, I'd rather have one great guitar than 4, like, okay ones. And then
yeah, would you rather have one really amazing, beautiful girlfriend, or would you rather have 4 not so?
Dangerous question.
Or boyfriend. It's a dangerous.
Who was it? Who was it the other day? Was it the king of Thailand or something who's had to go into self-isolation lockdown, but with his 20 wives? Yeah.
Yeah. That's the blessing and the curse at the same time.
There's not much self-isolating going on there, is there? Probably plenty of something else though. David Hunter, you are right about the Variax issue. That's just another guitar that has been in very short supply recently. Variax 2 it is now. So the JTV ones, I don't know when or if they're ever coming back, but the standard, the Variax standard version 2 is, I think, more likely to be back in stock soon. Squire Classic Vibe or similar price G&L. That I've asked myself that many times, and I ebb and flow. I ebb and flow. We've done videos on that, and the G&L thing. The G&L has its own. The pickups have their own vibe. They are hotter, fatter, louder, sounding pickups, and the build quality of Classic Vibe versus G&L Tribute is pretty much the same. So you're really, you know, do you want something that's very traditional, classic Strat, classic Telly sort of style, in which case go Classic Vibe, or do you want something with a bit of extra, you know?
Yeah.
In which case, look at Tribute, G&L Tribute. They're both great guitars.
Great guitars.
David Dawson, how far is the main music room from the store? Pretty close, like next door.
It's a secret.
Oh, sorry, it's a secret. Adam Jones, what is the Adam Jones signature Les Paul? Oh my God, this is where I'm going to get called out in front of everybody.
I don't know.
You don't, I don't know either.
Oh, no.
Which band is Adam Jones in? Give me a clue. Hang on, where's Alfonso? Apparently Alfonso has asked a question like 1,000,000 times and I've got to answer him, but now I can't find it. Alfonso? Here we go. Wood Anderton. What do you think of Harley Benton guitars? Well, it's a difficult one for me to have an opinion on, as Harley Benton guitars are Thoman's own brand of guitar. And it's a massive range from really cheap guitars, which I've played that I didn't think were that great, to, you know, mid-price ones, which were really good. But you're never really going to find another retailer that's going to give you a completely unbiased opinion on those, because of course it is a competitor's own brand product. I guess it's a bit like going into Sainsbury's supermarket and going, what do you think of Tesco's own brand food? It's like, what are they going to say, you know?
Yeah, you go to Waitrose, don't you?
Sorry?
You go to Waitrose,
I haven't been to a supermarket no, we have a Sainsbury's is near to us, so... Lizzie Hale Explorer. It's a great guitar. Do you know what? Lizzie Hale, I knew who she was because of her Explorer guitar way before I ever heard anything by Hailstorm, and then I've seen some of that over the last year, and man, she can sing. She's got an unbelievable voice. It's a wicked band. So yeah. I'm into them as well.
Somebody was saying something about what we thought. Somebody cannot try out the new Epiphone Joe Bonamassa Les Paul or the new modern Epiphone Les Paul. I haven't tried the Joe Bonamassa one yet, so I can't.
I think they've sold out already.
Oh, that might be why then.
And if they haven't, maybe we should look. Is this bad, Pete? How do I do like a YouTube toilet break? Can we just intermission?
Intermission?
Yeah,
We've been on for
I'm going.
57 minutes now. That's probably.
Yeah, I'm going. No, you entertain people. I'll only be a minute.
That is because Lee is getting old. He got a small lad. Can you let the door be open so we can all hear you? Let's see, what we got here of questions. What happened to the Partcaster build that you posted on Instagram? Well, there was some problems with the neck on that, so that had to be fixed, and we still have the video lying around, but loads of things has happened at the same time, so that just got placed to one side. But it will come back. It will make a reappearance at some point. But we just didn't figure out how we did it. We didn't do it right in the end. Me and Lee just took a hammer out and didn't know what we were doing, basically. So don't forget to wash your hands. That's right. Yeah. Let's see here. Best affordable hollow body guitar. Well, that depends on what you kind of want. You want a jazz guitar, or you want a little bit more of a rockabilly thing. Look at the Gretsch, a really great value for money. And those new Epiphones are really good. The Angelico are cool, and a brand that is a little different. So those are cool as well. Check them out. Just type in hollow bodies basically on the Andertons website, and then.
I'm loving that Station Light Years found the I like to do that video.
Yeah, I know. That's not that.
Oh man. lot of love for my dad on the internet over the last couple of weeks.
He's a cool dude.
And my dad's got a real complex about whether or not people will like him or not. So he sort of refused to watch the video or look at any of the comments or anything. And I had to literally sort of force him to do it. And then he got all emotional, and I could see him like welling up over how nice people were about him. So thank you everybody for being so nice about my dad.
Yeah, he was really cool. I really like him. Cool dude.
Pete, what's the hardest riff that you know that, like, there's a question here from the Julioff. Is there a riff that you're still struggling with? And if you just say no, I'll just hate you even more. So please, can you just show us a riff that you find difficult to play?
Yeah, that's the thing. I've never sat down and checked stuff out unless I absolutely have to, and I've never really had to. You know what I mean? There isn't really a riff. I think if I sit down and you practice it enough, you can get it. There's some of the I would love to learn some Nuno Bettencourt stuff. But I just never sat down and learned it. But I think I would struggle with some of his stuff. But I would love to play it. I would love to have an N for a Washburn. I would love one. And I would love to learn how to play his riffs and his fast licks and his, but it'll take me a while.
I've just seen Chappers has joined the conversation. Hello! Sorry I couldn't pick up your call earlier on. Now you know why. Yeah, I saw a video that Rabir posted recently, which I think was a Throwback Thursday video to him doing a Nuno thing.
That's it.
And Nuno, he is flipping. He might be my favourite of all of those kind of.
Yeah, I agree. Because it's tasteful as well. Get the funk out and all that stuff. That was the one that Rabir was playing, I think. I can't remember how it goes. I remember sitting down going, I'm going to check this out now. And then that was like, oh, look shiny. And then something else. I had to do something else and then I just forgot about it.
Yeah, it's, yeah. And I think the other thing I like about him as well is he never really did all those kind of videos and stuff that all the guitar virtuosos did. He always kind of he sort of stayed true to just being in the rock band or being in a band thing, didn't he? He didn't do all the tuition videos and the signature pedals, and I know he had a signature guitar, but he's very cool. What else are we saying here? Crikey, now everybody's saying hello to you, Rob, in the comment section, but you probably know that. Would you prefer, this is another good one, isn't it? So Boss Katana, undeniably the best-selling sort of more affordable amp of the last 2 or 3 years. Great amp, cannot criticize it really, but is it still the best one? Is there, because there's a lot of other good amps out there, Oh, hello.
I think something went up, lost power here on the old handlebars.
Are you using a what do you call them?
Yeah. I'm using a
gimbal.
A gimbal.
It just ran out of batteries and went limp.
Yeah.
So come on. So you got Boss Katana. You've got those new Fender Mustang GTXs. You've got the Fender Champion 50. You've got Blackstar Silverline, Code from Marshall. I mean, Orange Crush. Actually, there's not a lot of those amps have been out for years, haven't they? I'm trying to think. What's the new? Really, the only really new ones, I suppose, are Blackstar Silverline and Mustang GTX, aren't they?
Mustang Sally.
And Mustang Sally. Is it still, for like 80% of people, is it still going to be Katana?
I think so. I think it's at the moment Katana's still king. I think the new what was the one we did a video on? The Mustang GTX was good.
Yeah.
I really like that. But for Fender sounds, they are absolutely brilliant. You can't really beat them. If you want Fender tones, if that's what you're looking for, then that's what you need to get. But overall, still Katana's still a great amp. If you want an effects loop, you need to get the 100 with the 112. So,
Yeah, I think that's the really Fender have nailed the Fender thing, especially that new Mustang GTX. I thought, you know, they've got banks and banks of all the old classic Fender amplifiers, Twins, Deluxes, Princetons, Vibra Kings, you know, and they're great. And the other stuff in there's okay. But Katana, I think the other thing as well that Katana have just got right is the user. You know, it's like really all, whether it's Fender or Marshall Code or whatever, there's all this like, get the app and like do this and, you know, delve, and it's like Katana's really just gone, or don't, just literally, or just walk up to the amp and just, you know, adjust the controls on the top.
Absolutely, I absolutely agree. It's just a great thing. It's a great thing to have. So, and if they're affordable, you know, you don't have to spend very much to get all that stuff that you get. So, but absolutely.
200 quid on a Boss Katana is tough to beat. And I would literally say something like the Fender Champion 50 is probably the only other one that I would say
with the looper
is worth it. Oh yeah, but that's GTX. Yeah, GTX foot switch is blooming brilliant. If Boss Katana did the foot switch that GTX have done, yes, shout, shout, Mr. Honore. Man alive, there's so many questions we've been asked here. Can I remind everybody as well, we're going to have to probably do something else soon. Pete needs to move house, everybody. Somebody
running out of power here.
Somebody did also say, will Andertons match whatever is donated with this for to the NHS? Well, we probably won't, and the only reason being is there's another like a, what's the right word, gesture, donation, or whatever, that Andertons is doing independently of that, which you'll find out about in the next day or two, because we've got some other thing going on for that. But honestly, if you work for the NHS or any of the emergency services in the UK or in their equivalents around the world, man, you are legends at the moment. You are literally saving us all. I know kind of that's probably your like job anyway when you're in the NHS, but you are putting your own you know, you're putting your own lives in you know, after hours, if that makes sense. I've really badly explained that, but you're doing an amazing job and we all appreciate it.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Row bags, hopefully this summer, and Spark, John Root, the Spark. No, so the little Spark amp from Positive Grid sounds great in the videos that they've obviously paid, you know, to go out with Tom Quayle and Sophie Burrell, I think, has done one. And they sound cool in those videos, but, you know, they are paid for sponsored videos, so who knows. But I believe that the vibe with that little amplifier is they're only going to sell it direct, so it won't go through, you know, a music store. So again, I don't suppose we'll see one. But it did look kind of cool. I'm a bit meh on some of the Positive Grid stuff I've tried in the past, but it does look clever. This the software looks clever. So hey, I don't know.
But we will get those the little Bad Cat.
Yeah, I'm playing the lick, Pete. Look. Can we break a world record? Can everyone watching grab their guitar now and in A play? I don't even know if I can count you in, Pete, because there's a lag.
1, 2, 3, 4. You
nailed it. I am not plugged into an amp. So how many people, thumbs up or hands up if you played that lick there, and I'll contact Norris McWhirter at the Guinness Book of Records and see if we're in. That's a great shout for another video, isn't it? Somehow like break the world record for playing that lick with the most number of people simultaneously. I don't even know how that would happen. Anywho, man.
Just again, we could donate that money again to the, you know, services and everybody who's doing this stuff. So
what else? Do you know what I've done? That's great. Thank you very much. Anyway, look, what's the dealio here, Pete? are we signing out and we'll do another one of these maybe next week?
Yeah. I mean, what day is it today? I'm struggling to keep up. It's a Wednesday. We could potentially do one Friday, or maybe not Friday, but we could definitely do one next week.
We'll do one next week.
Wait, so we make it a date?
I mean, man, it's just like, I'm just taking every day as it comes at the moment. My whole, it's like zombie apocalypse, isn't it? I just don't like it.
Teach them to look close to the camera.
Right, okay. I have to put the iPad over here. I've dropped it. Hang on. Okay.
Over here.
Now I can't see the camera, so I can't see what. A. So, 5th fret, kind of barring the your D, G, and B strings. So you go. And you can play the open A as well if you want to. So you're just literally, you're barring it with your 1st finger, and with your 2nd finger you're hammering on to the 6th fret on the G string. So, and then you're using your 3rd finger to bar, again, all the strings across the 7th fret. So not all the strings, but the D, G, and the B. So you're going. So that's the bit, and then the kind of the little, you know, cherry on top is the slide up of, so you've got your 2nd finger on the 7th fret of the G string and your 1st finger on the 6th fret of the B string, and you'll go. So you're sliding up 2 frets, so a whole tone. And that, then you don't necessarily want the A string to, sorry, the D string to ring on that one, so. That's it. Did that come out okay? Because I can't see.
Yeah.
Man alive. How many, where did the numbers go down? Oh yeah, like 1,000 people just switched off. So there you go. That's it. I think we need to just go and do something else now, Mr. Pete. That's a good shot of you there. That's like, that should be like a, that could be like one of those album cover shots, you know, hugging the guitar.
Yeah.
There we are. Matt Miller, what was the video Robin Lee watched before the Bill Kelliger guitar? That is another thing that'll just have to go down as a bit like the I like to do that. You're just gonna have to try and work it out. I will just give you a clue. It was a man with an unfortunate affliction that happened to him many times a day and was really inconvenienced his life.
Real or not? That's what we couldn't work out. Was it fake or was it real?
I don't know. I don't know. By all means, if someone else knows, share the link.
And someone is saying John Prine passed away from coronavirus. Yes, it's very, very sad.
Oh, kidding. Man, I tell you, it's frightening. It's frightening. It's there's nowhere in the world that you're going to get away from.
You're not safe.
You know, potentially some real sad stuff and heartache, and you know, it's going to take well-known people and people that you don't know, and it's indiscriminate, isn't it? You know,
yeah.
I know people will all have their different views on politics and all that kind of stuff, but you know, kind of hopefully, you know, our Prime Minister is now in intensive care with it, which is kind of, you know, it's all so weird. And isn't it weird that like 3 weeks ago, I know 3 weeks ago, in fairness, it was all kicking off still in China, but it kind of feels literally about 3 weeks ago in Europe, it was just like normal. And now it's just maybe 4 weeks, I guess.
It doesn't discriminate, Lee. It doesn't matter where you're from, or what creed, or what religion, or who you are, how much money you have, or, you know, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Anyway.
We don't need to, we shouldn't end on it.
No, what telly is this, Pete? Tell people what telly this is. Actually, no, I say telly. What T-type thing is this?
It's a Hansen. Handmade in Denmark. Good guys at Hansen Guitars, and you should absolutely go and check them out if you're looking for an amazing T-type style guitar that is not a Fender.
Yet another trip that got cancelled, as Pete and I were supposed to be going to Denmark to go and see the crazy dude that makes Hansen guitars. What's his name again? Henning. That is literally like 1 or 2 dudes, isn't it, in a shed making guitars.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it. But we will go. And it will happen, and we will go. That's a good shout. We should compare these two guitars, shouldn't we, at some point? That's a good video.
This is the only T-style guitar, other than the T-style guitar that you're playing, that has ever really done it for me.
Yeah,
I need to buy a Telecaster as well. I'll tell you what I got out the cupboard the other day. Look at this. It's talking of Telecasters. Where did I put it? You all think that I don't own one. Hang on.
Oh, your black...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look in the dusty, whatever we call it, realms of Andertons, I found this. Anybody remember the video from several years ago? Can you see the fretboard on here is a scalloped. Chappers, if you're still watching, this was your, this video is on Rob's channel, I think. Was it called Blues versus Shred or something? And Rob had to customize a guitar and I had to customize a guitar, and that was where I put the Eric Clapton boost in the Squire Classic Vibe, and Rob did this. One of our own guitar techs did the scalloping on the fretboard. It's done a pretty good job. So that was that one. But this is the only, ooh, that was very nearly an X customized guitar then. This is a telly that I bought in, oh man, this must be 20 years ago. What's it sound like? Oh, 1997. God, that makes me feel old. And I don't know, I used this a lot back then, and does this look cool? Do we like this?
Yes.
I think a bound F-hole telly, there's nothing wrong with that, is there? Needs some strings. Oh man, I think I've tried to say about 53 times that we're ending this video now, but we really should, shouldn't we? So I'm just going to do a quick, that's it. Look, thank you all very much for watching. If you want to make a last minute donation, all the money is going to the NHS over here. But for now, let's just sign out. Thank you for watching. Hopefully we've whiled away an hour or two of time. Play Pete, play us out, and we'll just fade out. I'm literally going to fade the volume, Pete. Keep playing. Bye! Where's the stop button? Cancel. I don't even know where the stop button is. Try this one. Here we go. You want to stop streaming? End.